Hello, hello, hello. Good evening from Lagos, Nigeria. This is the first episode of our series, The Roadmap Journey. Welcome, MF. To our series. MF is our guest for this first episode, and we'll be discussing on the Angular CLI. However, before we dive right in, I would like to introduce MF. MF is a colleague, and we've been working together for about a year now. MF, why don't you just introduce yourself?
Okay, hello, good evening, everyone from Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Ifon Ite, a front end developer, currently working with core software technology. Like Gabriel said, we've been working together for like over a year now. So, yeah, I
All
can't wait
right.
to start the session.
Yeah, so we've actually been looking forward to doing this talk for quite some time now. We were supposed to do it a
Yeah,
couple of weeks back, but well, for some circumstances beyond our control, we had to push it forward. But anyways, we are here now, and it's quite exciting. So well, I think our guests already know me, but for those who do not, my name is Gabriel Emmanuel. I'm a software engineer. I write mostly .NET, but kind of curious about the Angular community, and basically that's why we're doing this. And another reason why we're doing this is because there are persons who are curious about the tech ecosystem, and they find it difficult to, you know, figure out where to start from. And because of that, we decided to create this series called the Roadmap Journey that's supposed to help us figure out a particular roadmap to learning whatever technology we're interested in learning in tech, right? And one tool that's available to us is a website that we are actually taking some hints from, right? The website is called, or the URL to the website is roadmap.sh. So I would quickly just pull that up. Let's see. Give me a quick second to pull this up so that I show to you guys exactly. All right, awesome. Okay, awesome. All right, so this is the website .sh. Says developer roadmaps. So in case you're interested in learning any of the tech fields or technology or anything in tech, right? And you're kind of curious about where to start from or how to go about it, this website is really going to help you find out where to start from, give you like a roadmap on how to take it from the beginning to master, so to speak, right? So for this talk, we're picking Angular. For Angular is what we're going to be seeing. And basically, we're just on this stuff. We're going to be picking the first thing that you really do need to know. No, maybe not the first thing, anyways. I think we jumped
Yeah.
about four or rather. So you probably want to learn TypeScript basics, RxJS basics. But for this call, we'll be talking about the Angular CLI, which MF will be doing us a huge favor, helping us understand what it is, how to use it, and the benefits, right? So, but before we go ahead to talking about all of the technical stuff, MF, I would like to ask what brought you into tech? Why were you why were you interested in joining tech? And what's like the story behind your technical journey?
Um, what made me join tech? If I say for the money, I hope that's not the wrong reason. But yeah, how I started my tech journey. Sometime in 2019, I joined a class, kind of, in Youth Start Hub Innovation with my friends, which I learned the basics. And after that, I was fortunate enough to get an internship with a software development company in Germany. And that was actually when I was thrown into Angular. And since then, I've just been using Angular. It's been an off and on session, but yeah, I think I've fallen in love with Angular fully. So that's my tech journey, actually.
Okay, so basically you didn't kind of choose Angular yourself, probably because of the internship. That's why you chose Angular, and then
Internship, yeah, yeah.
that's
Because back then I
interesting.
just had the knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and the
Yeah,
company was using Angular, so they just threw me into it, and I had to learn it and work with it. It was a tough one,
that's
but yeah, here I am.
well, you're actually lucky because for some of us, we had to, touch this, touch that, figure out what this is, figure out what that is, jump around before we figured out what we really were into, right? But I guess um, at your first point of contact, you fell in love with Angular. That's really nice. I think I like that. So you're going to be talking to us briefly on the Angular CLI and all of the you know interesting stuff about it, right? I guess this is your floor. Take it away. Would like to learn from you.
Okay, let me quickly share my screen. Okay, so like Gabriel said, this is a roadmap journey, and this is the first part. And um, we're gonna start with Angular CLI. Though it's recommended to have basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and TypeScript so that you won't just get completely lost. But definitely, people just dive into it and still find a way around it. So it's not completely bad if you just dive into Angular. You'll definitely find a way around it. So for today, we are going to talk about Angular command line interface, which is CLI, the short form for it, as we all know. But okay, yeah, I have content. What do I have for you guys today? We're gonna talk about what Angular is, why we use Angular, CLI and Angular CLI overview, and CLI command reference. I know the topic is Angular CLI, but I couldn't just dive into Angular CLI without touching what Angular is and why we use it, and then a brief stuff about CLI, and then we can dive into Angular CLI itself. So that's but those that are non-tech and those that are tech can kind of follow up with the class for today, or the session for today actually. So what is Angular? Angular is an open source web application framework that is used for building dynamic single page applications and provides a set of tools and features for building robust, scalable, and maintainable web applications. This is quite a long English. Let me find a way to simplify this. So when we say single page applications, what do we mean? For me, the explanation I always give is, if you ask me honestly, is more or less like the UI is changing. You don't have to stay and wait for a while. Like, you just see the UI changing. Let me give a quick example. Hold on. So first of all, this is Angular documentation, and I would recommend anyone trying to jump into Angular to please. I love this documentation. I don't know how to explain that, but it's gonna help your life so much. So definitely this was built with Angular, and if you can see, when I click over some tabs, the UI just basically changes. There's no much loading, there's no much waiting. You just see the UI changing. This is what we mean by single page applications. So that's
Yeah,
why I
it
say
doesn't
you leave it up to
from
me.
what I'm saying. It doesn't reload, right? It just changes
Yeah,
the it changes the
exactly.
content, but no reload is happening.
Exactly. So in layman terms, I just say the UI changes and no one is knowing what's happening. You're not waiting and all that. So that's what that whole long English is with Angular. So it's used to build this kind of application, single page applications. So why do we use Angular? Sorry. Okay. So why do we use Angular? There are lots of reasons why we use Angular. I know that for me, I might be a little bit biased since I started with Angular and well, I've still been with it. But there's still lots of reasons why one should use Angular. For example, the component-based architecture. Component-based architecture means with Angular you can build things in components like tiny bits. So let's say in a website now you have your header, you have your navbar, you have your dashboard, you have your sidebar. All these things are can be grouped into various components. Your header can have its own components. Your navbar can have your footer can have its own components. So in case you have an issue with your navbar, you just go to your navbar component and you can quickly fix it. You don't need to go through everything. In case you have a problem with your sidebar, you go to your sidebar component, you fix it. In your sidebar, you can also break it down to various components. And another reason why we choose Angular is two-way data binding. Angular provides this nice thing whereby any change or changes made from the model, like from the UI, is automatically changed from the view and viewed to the model. How do I explain this? For example, let's say you're logging. Okay, like when you want to log in into a website, that's a very good one. You type in your details and all that. It's a very fast way it interacts. Like your login details and all that. It just clicks and it changes it. Especially for an edit feature. Let's say you want to edit. You have your profile. Your profile, like my name now is ATM Fund. I want to change my name from ATM Fund to anything. I can easily change it and it's quick. It doesn't waste time. It doesn't take forever. It doesn't have to load and all that. That's the two-way data binding. Then we have the cross-platform development. What we mean here is that it allows for building applications for multiple platforms. For example, your web browsers, your mobile devices, your desktop applications. Like it makes a versatile choice for developing cross-platform applications. Testing support. With Angular, you can perform unit testing in your app. You don't need to go out there and find how you can perform your unit testing. No, it comes with it. The box package with Angular, if I can say that. Then we have the rich set of features. Which features are we referring to? Features like the form validation. You want to validate your login, your logout, any form validation at all, it provides it. HTTP services for making API calls. That's when you want to integrate with your backend. That's it. Simple English. When you want to integrate with your backend, it's very sweet and very sweet. Trust me. And also sample of such features, routing for building single page applications. Like the website I just showed you now, how I was moving from one component or from one. Hold on, let me just quickly do that. I was moving from overview to component lifecycle. This is simply because of routing. That's why it has so many rich features, and that feature is routing. So with the help of routing, you can just be moving from one system to another, and it's going to move swiftly, and you don't have to reload. And that feature is, oh, okay. That's all I have for now. But yeah, these features they actually help developers build complex applications efficiently and with fewer external libraries. And when you have fewer external libraries in your app is more or less optimized because it's going to be faster. It's going to load faster. There's no much delay. Yeah, there's no much delay. That's the English. Then modular architecture. This actually kind of pairs up with component base because for each component, it's inside a module. So let's say in your header, you can have like 2 or 3 components in your header. Everything will just be wrapped up in a module. So you want to do anything in your header, you just go to your header module. Then your header module, probably you've broken some things down like your logo component, your navbar components. There can be different things you have in your module. So yeah, modular architecture is basically made up of different components. And an active community and ecosystem. Trust me, you would want to join or work with language or framework that has an active community and ecosystem because in coding you're going to come across a lot of bugs, and if you can't Google and get your answers or something, you are going to spend a lot of time there, and Angular has a large community for that. So whenever you run into issues or anything, once you just type it on Google, you see someone that has had that issue, or you get that kind of thing. So it has an active community and ecosystem. So these are the reasons why I recommend Angular. And some people might be wondering, which companies make use of Angular? First off, Angular was developed by Google. So Google uses most of their products use Angular, like your Gmail app, um, your Google Play Store. Yeah, they make use of Angular. Also, like Google, Microsoft also use Angular in a multitude of its products. For example, your Microsoft Azure, your Microsoft homepage, and let's not forget the Microsoft Xbox. The official Microsoft Xbox website that was built with Angular is sleek, it's immersive, and it's very attractive. And it provides a collection of games. It has smooth navigation with a touch of fantasy for younger audiences. It handles huge traffic, which is a very big plus, while providing a seamless experience for users. Well, these are just a few examples. Also, the company I currently work for, the makers of Angola, and the company I did my internship for back then in Germany, the software development company, Keystar AG, they make use of Angular. So lots of companies actually make use of Angular because of all these rich features, because this is wonderful. So yeah, these are the reasons I would recommend for one to make use of Angular.
I'm actually thrilled by the component-based architecture that you mentioned and the rich set of features, right? So I think when you're talking about the components-based architecture, what came to my mind is breaking your code into minute components that can be reusable and that can be easily
Make
updated, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's really exciting to know and work with. And then when you're talking about routing, I think that's a library that's already been created by the Angular team, and all you need to do is just implement it. So that's really interesting to know.
yeah, very interesting. So, like I said, these are the reasons I recommend someone to use Angular. So, we are gonna dive into CLI because now I believe we understand the basics of Angular and why we use Angular. But before I dive into Angular CLI, I felt like I should break down what CLI is first of all. CLI stands for your command line interface, which is a type of interface that allows users to interact with a computer program or operating system by typing commands into a terminal. It's used for a wide range of tasks, including system administration, software development, and automation. A very quick example of CLI is your command prompt, your PowerShell. For developers, your Git bash. These are your all your CLI. So yeah, it's everything is things that you use on a daily, not daily, but you make use of it. So yeah, that's the basic explanation of a basic example of a CLI. So we're gonna talk about the Angular CLI now. The Angular CLI also is a command line interface, definitely, but it's just used for Angular framework. It's a tool that helps developers to create, to manage, and deploy Angular applications from the command line. Angular CLI provides a set of commands that automates many of the tasks involved in Angular development, such as generating new components. I just made mention of components right now, the services, your modules, running tests, and building and deploying applications. This might seem like a lot of English, but let me just go into a quick example. Um, okay, so I created a folder called live stream, and I'm going to open this on my code. So first and first about the Angular CLI, if you want to make it with the Angular CLI, you have to install it. And to install it, there are some things you have to do, which I'll refer to the Angular documentation for right now. Like I said, and the Angular documentation is going to save your life. So we go to the documentation, click on setup. Like I mentioned earlier, prerequisites, just familiarity of JavaScript, HTML, CSS, TypeScript will do you no harm. Then you need to install your Node.js, which is just you click away. If you click here, you need to you can install your Node.js. Then when you're done installing your Node.js, you can then install your Angular CLI with this command. Well, for me, I can't install this because I already have this installed on my system. But in order to check whether we have Angular CLI on my system, you can just run the command ngv.
Whoops, we've got Angular CLI on our system.
Yep. So we can see we have Angular CLI here, version 14.2.6. And that's it, straight up. So once you just install your CLI version, you can quickly check using that command, and you'll be sure that you have Angular CLI in your system. And that's the first command I have here, ng version outputs the Angular CLI version. So after this, you can try to create your project. You can do a lot of things, which I'm going to do some live examples currently, right now. So the next command is engineer. Engineer, it creates an Angular workspace folder and generates a new application skeleton. We're going to try this now.
Could you probably zoom in on your screen so that it will be more visible?
Oh, okay.
Just click on Control Plus. That should zoom in.
Yeah, it should.
Exactly. This is fine.
Like this. Is that better?
Maybe one more. Awesome.
Is
This
that
is
better
better.
now?
Yeah, this is
Okay.
fine.
So as you can see, ng new, you have the name of your app or the name of the project. So for now, I'm going to name the project live session. And when you do that, there will always be a question that will pop up. Would you like to add Angular routing? Remember, I spoke about how routing is very important. So definitely, why not? Instead of you generating it manually, just generate it automatically. After that, it's going to still ask you lots of questions. Which style sheet format would you like to use? Some people make use of CSS, some SCSS, SAS, or less. Well, me, I use CSS, sometimes SCSS though. but
The
for now,
scary
let's stick with
CSS.
CSS.
There are a lot of persons that are scared of CSS. Are you scared of CSS?
Um, no,
you have, you have to think
no.
about. Are you sure?
It's
Think
just
about
that
it.
it can be annoying sometimes when no one's to do.
Yeah, I actually saw this humor on Twitter recently where someone uploaded a picture of a browser that had a very neat image, and they said created with CSS. Guess what the CSS was? Just take a guess. It was background image. I was
Wow,
like, oh wow, they got me there. They got me there. I
wow.
actually thought maybe someone wrote a lot of CSS to create this image, but then the CSS was background image. I was like,
Well,
oh
just
okay,
uploaded.
exactly. So this is some humor. Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, but CSS can really be annoying when it wants to be because sometimes
Yeah,
you just try to do something and you don't know what the problem is, but it's just not working the way you want it to be.
yeah.
So you just try
It
to
is.
figure it out. You can Google it and you will not really find what you need. And sometimes it can just be a comma that is holding it and you have no idea. But yeah, it can be annoying.
I guess. Thank God I work on the back end of things.
I think I will. Okay, before now, I was always saying I would stick to front end, but I think I'm
Oh
already trying
no!
to see
Oh
how I
no!
can move
Don't
to
don't
back.
tell me you're running away. Don't tell me you're running away already.
No, I'm not running away. Just say I'm diversifying. I'm moving. I'm trying to. I want to try new things. That'll be a proper English. I'm not running.
Okay. All right. No, no, no
Okay,
worries.
so back to my code. As you can see, it's generated. We have our live session project generated. We have all our files auto generated. When you click on your SRC, you have your app. You have your assets folder, you have your environment folder, and if you look here, you'll see your components. This is what I mean by it's components based. So this is your app components. You have your app routing, you have your app module. All these things are auto generated once you use your command engine new with the name of your app. How sweet was
That's
that?
interesting.
And quite
So
fast.
yeah, with just about 4 words, right? Yeah, no, 3 words. Engineer and then the name of
Engine
the
new and the name of your app.
projects. You're able to scaffold all of this. That's interesting, right? And
Yeah.
and basically, I believe you can just simply run this, and you have a Spark app already ready for you to work with. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually going to that because with engine now, Angular already have some basic things in their HTML. Wait, let me this. Yeah, their HTML, the CSS, the TS, this mini app already built. So when you want to start, definitely you have to just clean all this. But I'm going to start. I'm going to run this project, and then we'll see the mini websites that comes with all this.
All right, all right.
So
I,
the
I wanted
command that does
I wanted to object to you calling it mini, but all right.
it's kind of mini compared to the ones you build on
Yeah,
a
yeah,
daily.
yeah.
So
I guess that's why I didn't object, right? Because well, compared to
yeah,
some other websites or apps, it's mini, right? But then it's
it's
still not
mini.
mini because if you were to write that code yourself,
Oh my
oh
god.
my god.
Oh my god. Nah,
So,
don't think it. But
I guess
yeah,
that's when you find out that it's not mini.
nah. Okay. So the next command we're gonna look at is ngserve, and this basically builds and serves your application, rebuilding on file changes. This is the example I want to show. So ngserve is basically going to just start this, and then you see your it's front end. So when you do your changes, you should see what you're changing. So yeah, we're gonna run it. ngserve. Oh, another thing. When you want to run ngserve command, you have to run it within your project. So you see, I ran this outside my project using the live stream folder, and it gave me this error message. This command is not available when running the Angular CLI outside a workspace. So all I just have to do is come into my workspace, open an integrated terminal, and rerun that command.
Okay, and then it kinds of what's it doing right now?
It's
maybe
building it, so it's building. That's it.
it's building the app, trying to compile it into a
Yeah,
single
trying to compare it
file, and
exactly.
then which at the end of the day makes it a single page application. Yeah.
Page application. Yeah, yeah.
All right, that's interesting. It's taking a
Uh,
minute.
Yep.
You see,
But it's gonna load.
as you can see, it's no longer mini, right? Because it's taking a minute to build the application. Okay,
But it's
compiled
done.
successfully, and
Yeah, so it is compiled successfully. You have your Angular Live development server is listed on localhost 4200. Open your browser on this, so I can just control click on this, and it should take me there. Oh, oh, I think I already have this open. Localhost. Okay, let's just reload. Voila. So here we
um,
have it. We have our live session. We have our live session app is running, and as you can see, this is a full blown website. Looking at you.
yeah, exactly. It's really beautiful. I think the Angular guys did something nice here. They didn't just create like a white page with a few links, but
Yeah,
they didn't make it look nice. At least
yeah,
you have a starting point. If you probably want to play around with this, you could just took a few things, move it, few things around,
yeah,
change some content, and that way you'd easily learn um, how to work around the old Angular workspace. That's really
yeah.
nice.
Especially when you're starting, you will need it. So, sorry. Go back to Okay, so the last command I just talked about was ngserve, which we have seen that it builds and serves your application rebuilding on file changes. What this rebuilding on file changes mean is just for every change you make and you save it, I am trying to make a quick change to see how that happens. Let me see what I can change over here. Angular material. Okay, this button. Let me make a change. I can just comment it out. And I save. And you go back to your app and you reload. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me find out where it's actually. Oh, it's in resources. Um, oh, welcome. This is a quick one. So I don't have to find where the Angular material is. Okay. So before there was a welcome here.
Yeah.
There was a welcome here. So I just commented it out over here. And if I uncomment it back again and I save, we have a welcome again. You
Yeah,
see?
so
That's
basically
the
you
function
don't
of the
need
engine
to
serve.
run the app again to see your changes, right? I guess that's what you're trying to tell
Yes.
us. All right, so you
Yes.
can
You just
just
have
make
to
a
save it
change
and
and
you see
come
your
to
change.
a view exactly, and then that
Yeah.
kind of makes it easy to implement or to develop your app instead of waiting to run, build and then run. Just that's a
Yeah.
cool feature. That
Yeah.
so I guess that's now the difference between ng-serve and ng-run. You probably need to run again
Um,
if you make a change.
yes, that and also Run. The difference is it targets everything you have or what you have in your package or JSON file, like your start, your build, your watch, your test. You get it has to run things that's in your package or JSON file. That's another difference with Run
Okay,
because Run is
so
not just for starting your projects. You can use it for a lot of things. You can use it to build, you can use it to watch, you can use it to test. But
mm,
the common one that we mostly use it for is stats. So yeah.
okay. Okay, so that means when you want to use ng-run, you probably do ng-run stats.
Yeah, I think I have an example of that coming up. Oh, that's my next command I was going to talk about. So yeah, you just do this is the example, run the name of your app, and
Oh,
then
okay. Okay, you have to specify the name of the app as well. Okay.
yes, you have to specify the name of the app, and then you, like I said, it's a general command that is used to run a script or a target in an Angular project. So that
Mm,
means everything in your package or JSON file. You have your run, my app serve, the
yeah.
serve, the build, the test, all this you can run it with your run.
Not trying to be lazy, but I think I prefer ng serve, ng build, just typing that directly.
No, it's not. It's not just you trying to be lazy. Like when you have a large project, you won't be thinking of how to do ng run in the name of your app. No,
Yeah, exactly. I think I
you're
just
gonna
prefer to
run to
type in
ng
ng
serve.
serve or ng build and
Yeah,
then just take it away from there instead of trying to get ng run, the name of my project, and then semicolon or whatever, and then
a very long
start a
process.
build.
I agree
That,
with you,
that's a long
definitely.
process. I'm not interested in that. I'll just go with ng serve or ng build and just do what I want to do. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, that's the example for ng run. I don't really need to show that. Then ng generate is a command to add new files for additional components, services, code, and new pipes, directives, and so on. A lot of things can be generated with ng generate. I'm gonna show that. So to generate, I'm gonna create a folder so that we can just see it. And I'm going to open this in my terminal. So ng sorry, I'm using the short form. Let me write it full.
Oh, that's fine actually. I guess I understood when I saw it, right? I
Yeah, well,
understood
when I started, I'm
it's
like,
to
let me be sure of what I use so that I won't confuse the audience. But I just had to explain that I'm used to the short form. The short form of the alias is ngg, then whatever thing you want to generate. But I think I can go into that later. But for now, we're gonna use the long form ng generate. So if you want to generate like a component, your module, your routing, anything you want to generate, and also in case you want to figure out what you can generate, there's a command line Angular did for that, which is ng generate dash dash help. Oh, sorry, I need to put a space. Yep. Okay. So you see, with that command, we can see some examples of things that we can use the ng generate command for. We can generate app shell, we can generate an application, a class, a component, directive, enum. Like you don't need to cram all these things. Angular just made your life easy for you. And you're going to make use of a lot of these things when you're building an app. Mostly your components, your directive, your enum, your interface, your library, your modules, your pipe. The service is very important. These are things that you play with on a daily when you are working with Angular. So you don't, like I said, you don't need to cram anything. It just made your life easy. ng
yeah,
generate dash dash help, and voila, you have all your commands you can use, you can generate.
that makes it
So I'm
easy,
gonna run
right?
another.
And
Yeah, very very easy.
over time you probably remember some of these things. So probably when you're generating a
Yeah,
component
definitely.
today, tomorrow you remember that you can generate a component using ng
Yeah,
generate components. Yeah, so that's
and it
another
follows
thing.
the name of what you are trying to generate. If you're trying to generate a module, and generate module. If you're trying to
Yeah,
generate a
that
service,
even makes it easier to
so
remember.
yeah. So we're gonna generate a component, and you generate component. Wow, it's been long. I typed this in a full. Okay, and you generate component. We're gonna name this test A. And these are part of the things we battle with in Angular. We battle
I
with a
think
lot of error messages,
um
but let me try to figure it out. Could not find an ng module. Use the dash just skip import to skip importing in ng module. Hold on. Okay, let's try one more time. Okay, so we're gonna use that. Use the dash just skip import. Okay.
you're missing a space between test A and skipping pots. You're missing a space.
Oh, thank you for that. I didn't know. I didn't see that.
Okay, let's try it
Yeah.
again.
Hopefully this will it works.
Okay.
Like I said, these are part of the things we come across as a developer. You see some error messages, you have to find a way to quickly fix it, and
Yeah.
you hope it doesn't happen in a live
I
session.
think
But
I think probably this is because there wasn't any module in the test folder.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because Zane could not find an engine module, and from what I'm seeing, test A is the first folder created
will
inside
that
of
be
test.
created?
Yeah,
Yes.
so
If I
probably
created
that's
it
the
in
reason.
my app, if I created it,
Yeah.
okay. And back again, we are in Nigeria.
Well,
Apologies for
I'll,
that. They just took the lights. It's gonna be back on in some seconds.
I'll keep you hidden for the next few minutes. Don't worry.
Okay.
So yeah, and then it just helps you create what's it called, all of the components, right? The HTML, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
How many files were created there?
For your HTML, your TS file, your CSS, and your spec.ts. Your spec.ts is where your unit testing and all that happens. So it creates all
That's
the
cool.
files that you need.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. And then you can now
Yeah,
update it however you want to.
exactly. Exactly. So like you mentioned earlier on, the cause of the error message was because it's not inside a module. If I've created this in my app folder, definitely wouldn't have seen this. But yeah, it was an experience to it was a nice experience to have and for everyone to
Yeah,
learn.
exactly, exactly. So one of the best way to learn is by failing, right? I think that's what some person said.
Definitely.
So when
Definitely.
you fail, it's easier to learn, and you just pick it up from there next time. Next time when
Yeah.
it happens again, you know what to do, and then you improve.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's normal.
Yeah. So you can see with this we just generated a component. In this your component, you can do whatever thing you want to do. You can have this your components, your header component, your navbar component, whatever thing you want to name it as, you can name it as that. And remember, you can generate a lot of things, which I'm not gonna go through all those things currently because there are lots. But with the component, I think that that's it. And also, like I said earlier on, I wasn't used to the long naming. So there are aliases. It's called aliases for this. So instead of the whole ng generate component, we just do nggc and header. And with this, you can create your component. You don't have to use the long format of ng generate component. The same thing with your services, nggs, yeah, services, nggm for module and all that. So this is
Makes it
better.
makes it
It's
easier and faster.
exactly. I don't have to remember how to spell generate services. You just do it and it's quick. So yeah. The next command reference we're gonna look at is ng-add. It's used to add third-party libraries or additional features to an Angular project. This is ng-add package name. This is how it is. When you say to add external party a third party library with an example is like Angular Material. I know that most of us know what Angular Material is, hopefully, but yeah, Angular Material is a third party library, and with ng add, you can easily install that. But if you're actually developing, you find out that you rarely make use of ng add. You just make use of npm install because your Angular project, you've already installed your Node.js and all that. So your npm command lines also work for you. So you don't actually make use of ng add. And sometimes you use ng add and after that you have to do some additional setup and all that. But with npm install or yarn install, trust me, your library, your third party library is going to be installed quickly with no hassle. But yeah, if you are trying to stick to the Angular command, is ng add, and with this you add a third party library. The next command we're going to talk about is
Sorry to hold you back there a bit, right? So
okay.
what's is there like a difference or an advantage to using npm install over ng add, or using ng add over npm install?
Yeah, like I said, ng add sometimes after that it can require you to do some additional setup
Oh, okay.
because yeah, you can just require to do some additional setup. But with npm install or yarn install, it just does the whole deal for you. You don't have to, after adding it, you have to do your additional setup and all that. And sometimes it might not be compatible with some libraries. Why npm install and yarn install are compatible with this library. So generally, I think it's advisable you just go with npm install or yarn install. But it doesn't hurt to start with ng add. You never can tell. You can add. So yeah.
I like that. You never can tell. NG can add.
So yeah, it
Alright.
definitely works, but not for all third-party libraries.
Alright. But I guess since I like taking the easy way out, I'll just stick with npm
Oh
install whenever
yeah,
I want to.
oh yeah, that's
Alright.
always saves the day. So yeah, the next command reference we're gonna look at is ng build. This basically compiles an Angular application or library into an output directory named the dist folder as the given output path. So I'm gonna run a quick test for this. So ng build. Okay.
So more like halfway of what ngserve does, because I guess ngserve builds before spinning it up in a session or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Okay, but then ng builds just builds it, and you probably
it
still
builds
need
the
ng.
entire thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you probably still need ngserve to spin it up for you.
To exactly. With ng build, you're more or less you can host it. So as I've done ng build now, it has packaged my entire project into one file, which is this file. And
Okay,
with
and then
this
you can
this
deploy
file,
that.
yes, exactly. So this file you can deploy it, you can upload it. There are some there are some sites that I can use like Netlify. Most times I use Netlify, so I can quickly run that. Hold on.
That's
Oh,
nice.
so I kind of already have it open. So we just netlify.com, and then sorry, you can get started for free, definitely.
Oh, I think they tweaked their website recently. I haven't been here in a while.
Yeah, when I came here today, I was actually a bit surprised. So yeah,
It looks nice. It looks
yeah, it does. So yeah, when you log in and all that, you can see Infinity. This is my login details and all. So you can add new sites, you can deploy manually, like what I will do now. You say drag and drop your site output folder, which is this output folder. So we'll go to our code. We'll open this in File Explorer.
we're going to the world.
As you can see, it has deployed. This is the name of the app, or
Wow,
this is the name of the site.
so
Yeah,
fast.
that was quick. And you can change the name of the site. For example, definitely they'll give you a sample name, so it's left for you to change the name of the site. So we're gonna change this to test live session,
Oh,
saving
interesting.
this, clicking on the link, and you
And
have
then
turned
our
to a developer.
website is live.
Yes.
That's really cool. And it
So
took
with
just
this
about
link,
less than 2 minutes.
yeah,
Wow, that's
like once you
awesome.
run your ng build, you have your this folder. You can come to a site like Netlify, you upload it, and your site is live. And voila, you can send this link to your family members, and everyone can take a look at your website
Your
that you built, and
friends,
your friends,
everyone,
your village people.
like you let them know that, oh, now you're a software developer and you can build websites.
Exactly.
something you did in less than 5 minutes, I guess.
Exactly. So you see,
But it's not that easy, anyways. You still need
no.
to put in more effort. You still need to, I guess after learning about Angular CLI, you still need to learn a few more things as part of the roadmap that we showed to you earlier on. So,
Yeah,
if while this is impressive, would encourage you to keep it up, keep learning, keep building, and you definitely be pleased with yourself at the end of the day.
definitely. Let me add another definitely to it. So yeah, that's for the engine build and oh, we have engine doc. So I talked about the Angular documentation earlier on, which is I think this. Yeah,
Don't tell
and
me
see
there
doc.
is a command line command
Yeah,
creating documentation with
yeah,
Angular.
there is, there
No,
is,
for real,
there is.
I would love to say work. Let's see
Ah,
this.
I'm
Let's see
coming.
this. Let's see this.
Definitely. Though there's still like a bug for this, but it's gonna definitely gonna take it to the site. Let me explain. So it's ND doc, then probably pick a name of any name, like probably components or module or something you get so that it can
Yeah.
trigger the documentation. So I'm
Okay.
gonna open up the components. Hold on. Okay, and unhandled exception of fault, spawn unknown. Wow. Wow. Okay, hold on. Let me try this again. Then we just assume that this doesn't want to start for now. But hold on. Oh, NG done. Sorry, hold on.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Take your time. I actually am curious about this one because I guess one thing that how do I put this now? One thing that's like very difficult for developers who do not like to write, one thing that they find very difficult is you know generating documentations, right? So I want to see what's happening when you or what's going to happen when you type in the command ng doc. I'm actually curious.
Yeah, me too. I was so excited about this because I knew it was gonna like burst people's brain and all that. But yeah, let me just figure it out in a second and be sure.
All right. While you're doing that, this has been really interesting, right? Just with the CLI, without even writing any code, just with the CLI, we've been able to scaffold an application that has a single page. And I'm going to just pull myself back up for a second. An application that's a single page that could be directed to other pages. We've also been able to generate other components. I'm trying to recap to see if I remember most of what we've done so far. And we've also been able to save our application, which is building our application to a dist folder and spin it up to for us to be able to see it on our browser. We've also been able to deploy our application, which is another advantage of this call on this call. Something I didn't think would happen, but then we've been able to deploy an application in just about less than 2 minutes. That was really interesting to see. So we have our application right there on the cloud. You probably want to meet MF after the call, or probably want to connect to that to give you the URL to that application. And yeah, I guess this has been a fulfilling almost an hour, and I really can't wait for our next call where we would be talking about some other items on our roadmap. But before then, let's see if we could figure out how to get our duck up and running.
Okay, so I'll be trying to debug to see what the problem is. Not actually come across this error message before, and I'm so sorry, but for now I'm gonna disappoint you guys
That's
a bit.
that's 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 actually fine. I guess we would figure it out, or probably when we come on
Yeah,
a call, we would probably talk on it
I'll
a
talk
bit.
about the NG doc. Definitely, I
Yeah,
will.
exactly. And this has been really, really, really great. Is that the end of your slide? Do we have other things?
Oh, okay. Not really, but just kind of like a summary. Remember when I talked about ng generate dash dash help to generate
Yeah.
all your commands? Okay, so Angular also made something for all your commands, ng help. So if you just do, because there are lots of Angular commands. So when you do ng help, and as usual, Angular makes your life easy. You see all the things I talked about: ng add, ng build, the name of your project, ng doc, what I'm just trying to work on right now that is currently not working. But yeah, but yeah, this is the command for
NGT,
you.
probably test stuff, and some other interesting stuff from what I can see. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess there are like a lot of this stuff, but probably when you're trying it out, you can, when you're playing around with a command line, you could just try out to see what's happening. There's some
yeah.
little information there that can also enlighten you about what it's all about. I'm sorry for jumping in. I mean, I'm
No,
excited.
that's fine. That's fine. So yeah, basically, so with ng help, you don't need to, as usual, cram or do anything. You just type it, and then you see all the commands you can run. Ng update, you can update your Angular, your workspace. Because current when Angular started, it started as Angular JS, but over the years, there's been newer versions have been coming up, and I think currently we're in version 15, if I'm not wrong. But I think
Yeah.
we're in version 15. So yeah, you can update it, you can test, you can save, which I talked about, you run the new, all these things are all here. So please no cramming in Angular, trust me. We'll make your life a little more easier. We'll make your life a little more easier. So yeah, I think that's basically it. That's where let's wrap up for this. Thank you for
Thank you
listening.
so much. We really, really, really learned a lot from your conversation with us, and I think we already have someone from the comment section who mentioned that they enjoyed today's webinar. In any case, before the end of the stream, if you do have any questions that you want to ask MF, you probably want to drop that in the comment section, and forget um, if you have any questions or comments, please let us know before the end of the stream. We probably want to touch on it, and if not, then our next stream would be interesting. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so we have same Akintade telling you thanks, and also saying that they can't wait for the next one. We can't wait as well. We can't wait. It's been really interesting, and we have Ellen also dropping by to say, "Hey guys, thank you, Ellen, for dropping by." Ellen is my co-host for another stream of mine called the .NET
Yeah,
Books.
I watch it. I watch your stream.
Yeah, so thanks so much for dropping by, Ellen. And we have um, I I am sorry if I'm calling this wrongly. I
Aham.
am Aham. Okay, thanks for the lessons. All right. So thank you very much, everyone, for dropping by. If you would like to connect with MF, you can connect with her on our LinkedIn, and this is our LinkedIn. MF, I don't know if there is any other place you would want persons to connect with you.
Yeah, LinkedIn
Or
is fine. Please send in your connect. I'm gonna accept it. Let's
all
leave
right.
there.
All right, awesome. So if you want to connect with MF, you can connect with on LinkedIn. You can just search for Info et. I'm sorry. Just use that. I'm sorry, MF. I'm sorry. I don't want to bite my tongue. If you want to connect with me, you could connect with me on Twitter with underscore code ace. And you could also check out my websites, egabriel.dev. Like I said, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Emma, for joining us. Um, we'll see you on our next session. Bye.
Definitely. I look forward to it. Bye, guys.